What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What up, what up, what up? What's cracking? Back with another Kobe Bean Bryant reaction video. This time, another video from Uncut Hoops. 2009, Kobe was better than you remember. Yes, folks. A Kobe Bryant that was hell-bent and determined on winning a championship, fresh off his 2008 finals defeat at the hands of the Boston Celtics. So close, so close, so close. Got the MVP. Pretty sure he got All-Star MVP that year too. And was looking to get that championship finals MVP, but didn't get it. The Lakers got exposed as being soft. There was no Andrew Bynum. Trevor Ariza really wasn't available. Not at him at his fullest. And Kobe Bryant went into that next season hell bent, more determined than ever to instill his DNA in the rest of his teammates and lead them to a championship through hell or high water. Kobe Bryant balled out. I mean, he always balled out, but there was nothing that was stopping him that season. That was when the whole, scolding Kobe face thing was going on in the playoffs, right? Where he was like, I can't even do it. And then that's also the same year where, think he won 2 or 3 games in the finals, something like that. Lakers were up 2-0, I can't remember. And then they're like, Kobe, you're up in the finals. Why aren't you happy? Job not finished yet. Job finished. Job not finished. Something like that. Anyway, at this point in his career, Kobe Bryant was probably at the peak of his, not the peak of his athleticism, though still very athletic, but maybe at the peak of his powers when you consider where his basketball IQ was, where his understanding was, where his athleticism was, where his skill was. Like everything hitting at a very high level at the same time. This might have been the best version of Kobe altogether. Maybe. Some people say the 2005-2006 season was the best version of Kobe. Scoring wise, without a doubt. Like, he was a monster that season. But, it's hard to say when you got a player that great and he's had so many great moments throughout the extent of his career and so many great seasons. You can really just close your eyes and point to a year in his prime and be like, oh, you have an argument for that being the best version of himself for that best season. So, whatever you like. I'll shut the hell up. Let's get into it.
Talking about Kobe Bryant, there's numerous moments, games, series, even seasons you can go to that are highly impressive. But I think the most definitive Kobe season that really defined his career, changed his career, was 2009. Because up to that point, Kobe, the pressure to win without Shaq was continuously mounting. And by 2009, it had been 4 straight years of complete failure. As in 2005, he missed the playoffs completely. 2006 blew a 3-1 lead. 2007.
I will continue to say this. The 2005 season where they missed the playoffs, the Lakers were in playoff contention. Kobe Bryant had a season-ending injury, would miss the remainder couple months of the season, and the Lakers plummeted in the standings. But before that injury, they were poised to be in the playoffs. I will continue to state that.
And lost the Suns again. And in 2008, yes, made the finals, but lost the Big 3 Celtics. By 2009, Kobe, he was turning 30, and it was quite literally now or never. And from a team perspective, the 2009 Lakers, of course, they were great, but historically are actually highly underrated. As a Kobe leading them, they won 65 games, which is first in the West, and the third most wins in franchise history. And looking at the 09 West, adding some more context, there were 6 teams who won 50 or more games, and the 8th and 9th seed both won over 45. For comparison, the 9th seed Suns in the Western Conference would have ranked 5th in the East. That's why winning 65 games in that stacked conference is 100 times more impressive than cracking 60 wins in that year's East.
Yes.
And one more thing I do want to add, in a hyper-competitive conference, winning close games down to the wire games, it's a must for a championship team. And this year LA played 16 games that were decided by 5 points or less. In those games, they went 10-6. The main reason LA was so good in the close games, big-time fourth-quarter moments, was because of Kobe. As looking at clutch time scoring, he ranked 3rd in the NBA at 4.1 points per game. And for a guy who gets labeled inefficient, his clutch time shooting splits were off the charts, shooting 46% from the field, 40% from 3, and above 90% from the free throw line. And looking at Kobe's overall stats, of course, for Kobe season, they're still very impressive. And I think the main reason Kobe had a down year stats-wise the regular season was due to his focus on the postseason. As even with quote-unquote down numbers, he still finished 2nd MVP voting, 4th in Defensive Player of the Year, was 1st team All-NBA, and 3rd in scoring. And looking at the first round of the playoffs in the stacked Western Conference, LA was matched up against the 48-win Jazz, who were the 8th seed. Now, what you may be thinking is, okay, an 8th seed, the 1 seed should be favored very, very heavily. But this Jazz team was not your typical 8th seed, as they had an all-star duo of Deron Williams, as well as Carlos Boozer, who had been in the West Finals only 2 years prior. And comparing those rosters, I would argue the 09 Jazz, in terms of talent, skill, and just well-roundedness, were better than the 07 Jazz. As by 09, both Williams and Boozer were in their prime, and the overall team was top 10 in offense and defensive rating. Now, looking at the actual series, Los Angeles would eventually go up 2-1 with Game 4 in Utah. Game 4 and Game 5, to seal the deal, Kobe averaged 34.5 points on 58, 67, and 93 splits. Of course, those stats are just like video game-like numbers. But LA in both those games won by double digits, and Kobe in the fourth quarter took a total of 8 shots in both those games. It could have been even worse, even better numbers for Kobe if this series were more competitive. Now, looking at the second round, again, a pretty decent opponent, that being the Houston Rockets, who won 53 games.
That won seven,
and just like
seven
Utah,
games.
were a top 10 defense, ranking 4th in defensive rating, having both Shane Battier and Ron Artest, who were both second team all-defense. And despite having insane defensive efforts versus Kobe, having pitchers like these, Kobe in this series still averaged 27.4 points, 5.0 boards, 3.7 assists, 2 steals, on 45-34 and 83 splits. And this Lakers vs. Rockets series, it was the final time we saw a prime Yao Ming actually in the playoffs being healthy, as after Game 3, he'd be out for the entire season. Now, LA up to that point was still up 2-1 with control of the series. But looking at Games 4 through 7, it was a pretty odd series, as even down Yao Ming, the Rockets still forced a Game 7. Again, a pretty odd series, but Kobe from an individual perspective was facing elite defensive matchups and an elite defensive team in general. And looking ahead to the Western Conference Finals, this, in my opinion, was Kobe's toughest matchup, as in these West Finals, he played the Denver Nuggets, who won 54 games, being led by Melo, as well as Chauncey Billups, another Hall of Fame coach, that being George Karl. And just like Utah in the first round, Kobe's opponent was a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense.
Lakers ended up losing one of those first 2 games at home, and then Kobe it was like a really big Game 3 or Game 4. He hit this clutch 3 bucket, huge bucket. in Denver.
And if you go game by game for this series, it was super competitive and down to the wire virtually every game. As in game 1, Kobe, he dropped 40 points and in the fourth quarter added 18, only missing one shot. And down the stretch, had numerous big-time buckets and go-ahead free throws with around 30 seconds left. Now, looking ahead to game 3 with the series tied 1-1. Entering the fourth quarter, LA was down by 8 points on the road. But in the fourth, Kobe yet again had a big-time performance, scoring a game-high 13 points. And with around a minute left, Kobe had a go-ahead 3 late in the shot clock to give LA a 1-point lead. And just like game 1, had 2 dagger free throws to seal the deal, giving him 41 points on the game. This Nuggets team, no doubt, was a tough squad led by peak Carmelo Anthony, and after game 4 of the series was tied 2-2. But in the final 2 games, Kobe would have vintage performances not only as a scorer, but also as a passer. As in those 2 games, he averaged 28.5 points, 9.0 assists, 5.5 boards on 54.5% shooting. And in game 6, to make his second straight finals, had 35, 10, and 6 on 60% shooting in a game at LA, won by 27 points. What this series really boiled down to was one guy in Kobe being on an absolute mission in the fourth quarters. As looking at his fourth quarter stats, he averaged 10.8 points per game on 50, 43, and 90 splits. And to recap Kobe versus the Western Conference, he beat 3 top 10 defenses, 2 top 10 offenses, the Jazz, who had 2 All-Stars plus a Hall of Fame coach, the Rockets, who had Yao Ming, who was an All-Star, 2 All-Defensive players, another Hall of Fame coach, and Denver, 2 All-Stars plus a Hall of Fame coach. Now, saving the best for last, we have Kobe's magnum opus, that being the 2009 Finals. And for this series, he played the Orlando Magic, led by Dwight Howard, Jameer Nelson, and Rashard Lewis, all guys who were All-Stars. And surprising to me, I forgot about this, Orlando this year was the best defensive team in the entire NBA. And prior to playing Los Angeles, had beat the Celtics, the defending champions, and the Cavaliers, who were favored to make the finals and play Los Angeles. So, needing 4 more wins to get his first championship post-Shaq, Kobe in Game 1 came out absolutely scorching, scoring 40 points, his first 40-point finals game of his career. And of course, LA in this game won by 25 points. Now, looking at Game 2, many forget, this game went down to the wire. And Kobe late had some big-time bank shots, and the fourth quarter, what sealed it was a pick-and-roll with Pau Gasol for an and-one layup. Once again, Kobe.
There's also that, I think it was a missed layup by Courtney Lee, which could have had a huge impact on the game. I might be mistaken about those details, but it was something like that.
Beating teams, winning crucial games in a variety of ways, not just scoring. And once it got to Game 4 in Orlando, LA at that point was up 2-1, looking to go up 3-1. And Kobe late again in the fourth quarter overtime. Yes, he had some big-time moments, some big-time shots. But his signature play, his signature moment, again, was a pass to a wide-open Derek Fisher for a go-ahead 3. The quote-unquote ball hog Kobe, that narrative, officially died in 2009, as this finals was a far cry from 2004, where he was forcing himself to win MVP, as 2009 Kobe was much smarter, polished, skilled, and overall better version of the Mamba. And in Game 5 to clinch the championship, Kobe once again had a virtuoso, leading his team in points, assists, steals, as well as blocks. And for the entire series, had his best finals of his career, averaging 32.4 points, 7.4 assists, 5.6 boards, 1.4 blocks and steals on 43, 36, and 84 splits. How Kobe played in this series responded to pressure with his back against the wall was simply phenomenal. And I do want to highlight Kobe's overall run from Game 1 of the West Finals to the final game of the NBA Finals. In that 11-game stretch, Kobe averaged 33.3 points, 6.5 assists, 5.7 boards on 46, 35, and 89 splits. And LA in those games had an 8-3 record. Absolutely phenomenal play in the two most crucial series of his career. And looking at the entire run in totality, he had 15 games of 30-plus points, which ranks third all-time behind Hakeem and MJ. In terms of total points in NBA history, ranks 8th at just under 700. And I think my favorite stat from this run that I do find highly impressive is that Kobe in total averaged 35-5 en route to winning the championship. Up till 2009, the only other player who had done that was Michael Jordan in the early 90s. And since 2009 when Kobe joined MJ, only 3 guys since then have joined Kobe, that being LeBron, Giannis, and Jokic. The 2009 championship in terms of difficulty, pressure, being great from start to finish, it's all there for Kobe in what I believe was his best overall season. And much like Jordan 91, Kobe in 2009, not for the first time, but for the first time on the biggest stage, finally trusted his teammates and evolved as a passer as was a playmaker. Individually speaking, 2009 Kobe, I'll say it again, he was more polished, smarter, better passer, playmaker, and his teammate in general. And having all the trials, the tribulations, overcoming numerous adversities, that's why the 2009 championship is so sweet and just so memorable. And I hope this video once and for all proved why 2009 Kobe is actually better than you remember. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
The Black Mamba. It's no coincidence. Uncut Hoops there pretty much regurgitated some stuff I had said before I started the actual reaction. And yeah, listen, man, Kobe was, that version of Kobe was a monster. And people don't even mention all the injuries he was playing with, especially the season after, where he had the messed up fingers, man. Changed his shooting form, if he hadn't changed it already. He was playing with this big old finger cast at one point. It's the Black Mamba, baby. The Black Mamba. But never talked about it, never mentioned his injuries, just went about his day. Never complained, never showed, pain, unless it was excruciating for some reason. He was built from a different cloth, man. No excuses. And wouldn't do things to try to plant excuses in people's head that was watching him. Cut from a different cloth than the players today. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Which version of Kobe do you think was the best version of Kobe and why? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.